All right, what's up, Tycoon? Super excited for today's video. We are going to be taking a look at Cardano. Okay, this is ticker symbol ADA. Now, before we begin, I just want to say, if you have any, cryptocurrency or altcoin requests, even stocks, I do stock analysis as well. Let me know in the comments below, and I'll be happy to do a video on it for you as soon as I can, giving you guys some technical analysis on it and some key levels. Okay. So we'll go ahead and begin. And the first thing I want to highlight is this red trend line here and this green trend line here. Okay, so don't pay too much attention to it at like the prices that it's at, but let's just look. This is clearly a downtrend. And then here, even if we put it at the top of the RSI trend line right here, it's still going up. Okay, and we broke that trend line and we're coming up and trying to retest it here soon. So what is this? Why am I showing you that? That is something known as bullish divergence. Okay. Now I do have a divergence tutorial that'll be at the end of this video. You can click on if you need some help or like a beginner's tutorial. But essentially, it is an indicator that you could see bullish activity in the future, right? Now, essentially, also the main thing about the RSI is, generally when it's over 70 or around the level of 70, that is what's known as overbought, right? And that's where you can see something pull back because, demand rose too quickly and it's at an overbought level and there's going to be a supply imbalance. All right. Now that's what these levels are here. These red and green boxes I have charted up. Okay. So we have our major support and resistance levels here in the yellow. All right. Those are from the weekly chart. We're looking at the daily chart right now and we're looking at our daily chart supply zones and demand zones. Okay. Demand are going to be in the green, supply are going to be in the red. And this is where you are going to see a demand imbalance where there is, more demand for the token at this price. And so that's going to cause the rise of the token's price, right? And then these red zones, that's where you're going to see a supply imbalance, right? Where there is more supply than demand at these price levels. And it's going to continue to be a supply imbalance until enough buyers step in and you see it overtaken as a, supply imbalance to now where the market is agreeing on it, right? The longer it trades in this space, the more the market agrees. All right. So if you see here, we didn't last in this area very long, just a couple days, and we wicked up to the top of it and we're trading a little bit below it, right? We're just under it. So that means that, we came up in here and, here in the past as well, we wicked up to this area. All right. We didn't last here long. The reason for that is there's a supply imbalance, right? So now we know why it's pulling back. We want to see demand step in and we want to see the market kind of agree on this area now. And essentially when it's just hovering in this area, that means that the market is going to be imbalanced, right? That's not something you want to trade in, right? You don't want to trade in a balanced market, right? As a trader, you want to trade in an unbalanced market, right? Because that's where the moves are going to be made and that's where the money and the gains are going to be made, whether to the upside or the downside, right? So you could wait and hold a position or wait to get in a position and look to see, are we going to consolidate in here and then all of a sudden drop back down, right? Once you break below the bottom of your supply box, you could get into the trade, or you could get into the trade up at the top and have a stop loss shortly afterwards. Or you can be patient and see, all right, hey, are we going to creep up in this zone? And maybe I want to play the upside and I want to see, all right, are we going to, maybe I'll buy in at the bottom here and have my stop loss shortly below. And I want to see, can we, turn this into a demand zone now and ride it up to there and ride up to our next supply zone up here towards the $50 level. All right. And if not, then you can exit your trade up here towards the top. As you see, it does wick up there, right? And that's what a lot of people are doing, in my opinion, right now. A lot of people, it's coming up. They're taking their profits because they know that this is not a market agreement zone yet. There's a supply imbalance up here. So they're coming up here and taking some profits real quickly. And it's nice to see it consolidating. We're going to want to see it stay up in this area, right? If we do pull back down, however, into this demand zone of about 36 to 34, that's like, roughly the demand zone there, that will give us what's known as a inverse head and shoulders pattern. Okay. With our left shoulder being right here, our head being right here. And as I just said, if we pull back into this demand zone, and touch it even up here at like the 36.2 level, and such, that will give us the nice pullback that we need for the inverse head and shoulders. The main thing is we have to hold the key level of 34.335. All right, because if we drop below that and we start trading below that, then that is going to be invalidation, right? Now, what you need to be wary of is wicks. Okay, we're not looking for wicks that come down here and then quickly recover, right? So you need to determine, are you going to have like a specific price stop loss if you get into a trade, or are you going to have a mental stop loss and you're going to watch it and see, okay, is it just keep going down, or is it going to snap back up real quick? That's something that a lot of people struggle with, and you kind of need to know beforehand when you get into a trade, as always, because long-term investing is much different than possibly what you guys are watching this video for. Long-term investing would be something like dollar cost averaging and some index funds, until you retire, right? That's how you would long-term invest, or just long-term invest in Bitcoin and just dollar cost average is what a lot of people say. But this is, if you're trying to trade into it, know that we're in a supply zone where there's a supply imbalance, and we need to consolidate in this area. The market needs to show agreement, and then we need to have more demand, and that will create it to be a demand imbalance, and we'll be able to break past the 42 resistance level. And once we get to 42, we're going to be heading up towards 50. And I can give you guys an update on the supply zone, leading up to 50, where you can expect to see some resistance and some people taking profits along the way. All right. So thanks again for watching. Don't forget, if you guys want to, have me chart up a stock for you, or a cryptocurrency, an altcoin, anything like that, let me know in the comments below, and I'll be happy to get to it as soon as I can.